So there's an evidently horrible Christian propaganda movie that came out a couple months ago titled God's Not Dead. And if it were something that seemed like I could take it seriously, I actually would have been interested and I would have went to see it. But being that it's clearly this horribly written Christian propaganda, I can't even take it seriously, just based on the trailer. And the trailer's linked below. I want you to go see the trailer. And and laugh at it because it's quite laughable. It has Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, as the character chosen to represent atheists, because this is a film that argues the alleged position of atheists, which I guess is that God's dead. And I don't even like that concept, even from like a figurative or metaphoric sense. I don't think I've ever heard an atheist use that term, that God's dead. I mean, that would require him to have been alive. Maybe the reasoning to believe in him is dead, and that's an obsolete concept, and we don't need God anymore. But anyway, it's just a silly even title for the film, because this staunch atheist professor of philosophy who tells all of his students that we're not even going to deal with that entire philosophical concept, he requires them to write down that God is dead. And this brave Christian soul is going to fight that good fight. And apparently the climactic argument that's delivered from this Christian kid is that you must hate God. Oh man, you hate God. Like that's the argument. Like you really hate God, and you're just rejecting him. So why don't you believe? Like that's the big argument. After seeing this, I thought that it would be interesting if atheists were to make an equally ridiculous straw man, hyperbole kind of movie in response. And while I haven't gone through the effort to make that movie just for the laughs, I have created this trailer. So after you go watch that trailer, if you haven't seen it yet, link below, I present to you the trailer for God is Dead. All this stuff is temporary. Money, success, even life is temporary. So everyone should just kill themselves to get to Jesus faster. And since you don't believe in God, your life is meaningless, so you should just kill yourself too. Just because life doesn't have an objective meaning defined by some divine creator doesn't mean we can't assign our lives the meaning we see fit. Also, even if you believe in God, there's no reason to rush to get to him, since you'll eventually die anyway, and on the off chance you're wrong, you'll have cheated yourself out of the rest of your life if you end it now. Are you really in favor of people dying young just to go to heaven faster? That's it. That's what we're going with. I'm Professor Addison. This is Philosophy 150, and this semester I propose that we refuse to waste our limited time together discussing one of the oldest philosophical questions during this philosophy class. So, we're just going to skip it and assume that my conclusion is right. Fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words. God is real. I can't do that. I'm an atheist.
The answer's simple. Drop the class.
Oh yeah, that would be a real simple solution. Or I could just take the class with a different professor, or file a grievance about my professor doing a brutal injustice to this area of the course syllabus, or I could just write these 3 meaningless words on a piece of paper like most lazy undergrads. But none of those are contrived plot points that allow this movie to keep going. Mom has cancer. Why don't you just go see her?
She's not a Christian!
She could be a Jew and believe in
It
God.
doesn't matter. She's tampering in dark-sided stuff!
If you cannot bring yourself to admit that God is real, then you will need to defend the antithesis. You're here because that voice inside of you isn't happy with the choices everyone wants you to make. My conscience? Yeah, that's it. Mr. Whedon, are you ready? Yes, we're going to put God on trial. What do you say to people who believe? That's fine by me, just don't inject your personal religious belief into things like laws or schools which are run by a rightfully secular government. That's it. Huh. Do you think you're smarter than me, atheist boy?
I'm so much smarter than you stupid atheists that by comparison, I basically am God. It doesn't seem quite fair to me. I can't help if the boy hates God and wants to make a fool of himself. Look, I know I'm part of the majority here, and most of the world agrees with me, unlike you few brave oppressed Christians, but I'm an atheist too. Look, Christian lady, you came here hoping that I'd convince you that God doesn't exist. It's true! Oh no, I was wrong all along! There's no point in praying for you. To me, God's not alive, being that no evidence of his existence is ever demonstrated, let alone can we by any standard of something being definitively alive examine him to detect if he is alive, or dead, or inanimate. This secular university wants these students to make their own choice on the subject rather than you forcing your personal opinion on them as if it's automatically factual. You're just an atheist because you want to sin! Why do you hate logic? There's zero scientific evidence to support God's existence, and you know it. So why do you hate logic? Oh man, you got me there. I have absolutely no answer for that ironclad argument, and therefore am silenced and must confess the errors of my ways.